Hey guys, I've had to adjust the settings on my camera so many times, so I hope I'm centered. I hope I look flawless. I don't really know because I can't see myself. And I hope that, yeah, you guys can't see my gut. Hey guys, my name is Corey and welcome to my YouTube channel. I have been on YouTube for like such a long time, but honestly, like I got so distracted and I stopped uploading. So I just wanted to come back on here because I know that we're living in a crazy world right now and I've been struggling, honestly, to give you guys the blunt truth. So I honestly just wanted to get back to my YouTube channel because this is something that I've always liked to do. I've always liked uploading videos and connecting with you guys, but I just got so honestly depressed, anxious, life happened. So I wanted to come back on here because I have so much that I've been learning. I've been going to therapy on a weekly basis and I've learned so much in that and listening to podcasts, and I felt like I have all this knowledge now and I can't contain it. I want to be able to connect with you guys and connect with people in general, just to be able to give back what I've learned and just to help someone out there. I'm like, I have all this information that I've learned through my therapy sessions, and some people might not be able to afford going to therapy. Some people may not have the time. So what better way to connect with a large platform of people than to do it through a YouTube video? So that's why I'm here, guys. Thank you so much for joining in. So I don't want to drag out my intro. This video I'm going to be sharing with you guys. I think there's 5 ways that tips that I've used to overcome my anxiety and depression. As you guys, you know, if you have anxiety and depression, which judging by the fact that you are watching this video, you do, it's not something that is just gone. Like, it's a constant struggle. It's a constant battle. But these are just some things that I started incorporating into my life. And honestly, I feel like I'm getting better at it. And I'm definitely getting to a point where I feel like I know what to do when I feel those feelings start to come. And I think that's what's most important. So if this is something that you guys think would interest you, definitely be sure to keep watching. All right, guys. So like I said in the intro, we are going to be talking about 5 tips that you can use and incorporate into your lifestyle starting today that can help you to win against your anxiety and depression. These 5 things I have learned through therapy, through podcasts, and I incorporate it into my life, and I definitely have fewer days where I feel anxious or where I even get depressed. Number 1, this is the most important thing that you need to recognize. You need to reword your negative thoughts. A lot of times, like, our anxiety and our depression it starts with a trigger. Like, I've noticed for me, it always starts with something that triggered me, whether it be a conflict with a coworker, whether it be somebody annoyed you in the drive-through, whatever. It's always a trigger that starts and then it just spirals off into a depression. So I think it's so important for you, as soon as that trigger happens and you start with the negative talk to yourself, to reword that negative talk. For example, and this has not happened to me, I'm just literally using this as an example. You go through a drive-through, you know, you get into a confrontation with the person because they took a long time to bring your food out. You're hungry. I know how I get when I'm hungry, okay? I turn into a different person. So I think it's so important. You have that conflict, you have that confrontation, and then because of how that person may have talked to you, now you start telling yourself, like, what's wrong with me? Like, maybe I could have handled that differently. Like, why did I handle it that way? Why did I lose control? And then you just find yourself spiraling. Sorry, I dropped my pen. Spiraling and spiraling and spiraling. And then that's what leads you to anxiety. That's what leads you to depression. So stop it right there. As soon as that confrontation happens, instead of telling yourself these things and taking ownership of all that negative talk and putting it all onto yourself, tell yourself, maybe that person was having a long day. Maybe they are really backed up in there. Think about what that person may be facing. Think about, maybe that person had someone else who had the same issue. Maybe it was really out of their control. Don't ever take things personal. Because in that instance, instead of you thinking that it was all on you. You don't know what that person dealt with before they clocked in for their shift. It's just an example, but I think in general, it's important to just, anytime you have a trigger, recognize that trigger and reword the talk to yourself. Instead of having that negative conversation with yourself or talking down on yourself, just reword it at the trigger, at the start, and never let it spiral into anxiety and depression, because once it starts, we all know how that goes. So stop it as soon as a trigger happens. Reword that whole scenario and really think about seeing things through the other person's lens. Which brings me into number 2. This is like my favorite thing. This is my favorite thing. If you cannot control it, let it go. Let it go. And I know everybody doesn't believe in God, but I do. I leave it to God. I'll pray about it. I'll get it off my chest. And after that, let it go. It sounds easy. Trust me, I know. It sounds so easy, but it's very difficult to do. It's so hard to do, but you have to learn to do it. Certain things where maybe you said something, you're like, gosh, why did I say that? That was so silly. I do that all the time. When I start talking, like, I don't know what's gonna come out of my mouth. And later on, I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I just say that? No, stop that. Because you said it already, it's done, let it go. I find myself so many times, like, even if I'm afraid that I overthink things, like maybe I offended someone, and I'll go back and I'll apologize, and they're like, what are you talking about? Like, they've already forgotten about it. And I have a friend, and this is like, it sounds brutal, but it really is something that I think about all the time. He said to me, you're not that important. And I was like, that doesn't help me right now. But he was trying to say that that person is not thinking about that situation anymore. Like, they've moved on. You're probably overplaying and replaying the situation in your mind so much, and that person has moved on. Like, they're not even thinking about it anymore. So that's why I say, like, if you cannot control it at this point, let it go. Just let it go. Pray about it. Move on with your life, because it's only going to eat at you and eat at you and eat at you. And you're like, well, maybe I could have did things this way, or you know, it's not gonna, it's in the past. You have to leave it there and move forward. I love this saying, you can't drive on the highway looking in your rearview mirror. You gotta look ahead. You gotta look at what's forward. So let's keep it moving. Let's keep going in this positive direction. Which leads me into number 3. So this I actually learned on a podcast. Education over entertainment. I love it so much. I love it because we have to be very careful. I think as a people in general, but especially us with anxiety and depression, we have to be so careful what we feed our minds. And my biggest thing is like watching reality TV. Girl, I love my Love and Hip Hop, Real Housewives. What else is on right now? You. Oh my gosh, I love You. I watched all 3 seasons, but let me tell you, after I watch it, I am very anxious. There's so much blood and killing. It's just like it literally, but it's so addicting, I couldn't help myself. I'm human, okay? But things like that, like, we have to be very careful of what we feed our minds, because you never really realize how much that is just replaying over and over and over again in your mind, and how toxic it can be to your mind. What we watch on TV, even watching the news, can make you anxious. Like, you just have to be very, very careful of what you feed your mind. So a lot of times I find myself like watching a lot more YouTube videos lately. So, and you are too. Look, you're already getting started. You didn't even realize it. So I think it's so important. You can learn so much on YouTube. Like, anything you want to know, anything, is right here on YouTube. So that's what I try to do. Instead of watching TV, don't get me wrong, I still watch TV, you know, but I try to limit, you know, the reality TV shows, and it's almost like eating junk food. You know, I try to limit that and focus more on listening to podcasts. Jay Shetty, On Purpose. Oh, wonderful. I love his podcast. They changed my life. That's how all of this started. Dr. Phil has a great podcast called Fill in the Blanks. Oprah Winfrey has a great podcast. There's another one. Oh, His name has left me, but I will leave it in the comments below. Yeah, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan has a great podcast too. There's so many great podcasts. Oh, one more, R.C. Blake's. He's right here on YouTube. Like, there's so many great podcasts that you can turn to and tune into versus watching TV, where like it could be the exact scenario that you are in right now. And those podcasts will change your life. Trust me, they are so good. So this leads me into number 4, which is my biggest thing that I'm trying to work on. Stop procrastinating. Just stop procrastinating. Let me paint a picture for you, okay? You have to meal prep for the week, right? Because we're trying to get our lives together and everything. You know that you need to meal prep. You know it's gonna take you a really, really, really long time. And instead of you doing that meal prep, you like lay in bed and you're like watching TV and you're just chilling, right? But in the back of your mind, the whole time you're laying there, say it's like 4 hours that you've laid there and you're watching this movie, and the whole time in the back of your mind, you're like, I really need to do this. I really need to do this. Like, you're thinking about it. Next time you procrastinate, really sit and think about what you're really thinking about. The next time, like, really sit and think about like how much you're really relaxing as you're watching this movie, when you know you have 1,000,001 things to do. Really think about it. Like, you're thinking about that very thing that you know you need to do, and all you're doing is dragging it out and wasting time because you think you're relaxing, but you're really not. So it's better if you wake up, you get it done, you get it out the way. That way when you go and watch that movie, you're really truly relaxing. Like, trust me, you will feel so much better. Anything that comes to your mind, do it. Because the more you don't do it, it's almost like, I don't know if your mind works like this. Leave a comment below and let me know if your mind works like this. When there's something that I have to do, it's almost like a filing cabinet in my brain. Like, and the more things that I have to do, it's like, okay, file that, file that, file that, file that. Now I have this big weight and it's all just sitting on me. So that makes me anxious and that makes me depressed. So for me, I have to I gotta clear out my filing cabinet. Like, I gotta, okay, do. Like, just get it all done and taken care of, so that way it's not constantly building and adding to your plate, which makes you anxious, which it's like so much weight that you feel depressed. That's how I work. Leave a comment below and let me know if you agree. Type I agree, I'm with you below if this is you, because that's me all the way. That's me all the way. So the 5th and final thing that you can incorporate into your life that is going to help you when it comes to your anxiety and depression, and this is so simple: do more of what you love to do. Do more of what you love to do. That's why I'm here right now, on your phone, on your TV, on your computer. That's why I'm here. This is what I love to do. I love creating content on YouTube. And for the longest time, I was struggling because it's like, I'm in a career that I'm good at, I like it, but I don't love it. You know, like, follow your dreams and follow your passion. If there's that one thing that you've always wanted to do, that you've always dreamed of doing, and you're procrastinating and putting it off, that's only gonna add to your depression and to your anxiety. Like, really do what you love to do. Starve all of your distractions. If it's a relationship that's bad, if it's, you know, a job, honestly, like if you're in a career field that does not serve you, that you are miserable at, like, you need to start making a plan to leave. Whatever doesn't serve you, a relationship, a friendship, a job, whatever does not serve you, like, you have to release that negative energy from your life, because that's the only way. It's almost like, I have this friend that sent this illustration and it was like so awesome. Like, imagine you're trying to fly. I think the reference was like a bald eagle flying, and there's this other type of bird that like tries to cling to it. I don't have the story straight, but anyway, just imagine it. Like, this is a real thing, but like, I forgot the facts of what type of bird it was. But imagine you're trying to fly and you're soaring, and you know, you have all these goals and aspirations and things that you're working on. You have that one like thing that's like clinging to you. It just like won't let you go, and it's starting to like pull you back and weigh you down. Like, let it go. Like, no, excuse me, you can go. Lately, I've been like, you know what? You're not serving me, you can go. You're not serving me, you can go. Oh, you said this to me and that triggered me and set me off into this spiral. Yeah, you can go too. I'm not suggesting that you do that. If y'all have an argument or something like that, like every relationship you argue, but I just feel like if it's a relationship that's constantly pulling you down, constantly toxic, and you're having the conversations and it's not getting better, and you're putting in the work to try to make it better and try to pour into them and they're not pouring back into you. And I'm not speaking about just like a relationship. I'm talking like a friendship, a job, like any type of situation that doesn't serve you. I think it's important to let it go because it's stunting your growth. It's really stunting your growth. So I really believe in starving those distractions and doing more of what makes you happy. Being the best, creating the best version of yourself. It's a struggle. Every day I wake up and I'm like in the negatives. You know, I have to say, man, I gotta do this all over again, you know? And it's like some people, they wake up and they're like, all right, let's get this day started. I think it's so important to wake up and try to have gratitude. So what I've started doing is I have positive quotes all over my house. I have my vision board in my bathroom. So every morning I see it. I have my vision board on my refrigerator. I've taken a dry erase marker and I write positive affirmations on my bathroom mirror. Little things that you can do, which I'll talk about in another video, to just make, you know, certain tweaks so you constantly are staying on a upper, you know, you're not constantly in the negative. So I think it's also so important for you, don't think about other people's opinions. You know, I think so often we focus so much on what other people think, and if I do this, what's everybody gonna think? And, you know, how are people gonna see me? Like, those people are not, like, who are they at the end of the day? Like, who are they? A lot of people, especially, you know, on social media, like, they can be whatever they wanna be. You know, don't allow other people's opinions of you because nobody is you. Nobody knows what's going to make you happy but you. Nobody knows what your daily struggles are. Nobody is in your mind. Nobody knows you like you know you. So get to know yourself even better. Get to spend more time with yourself and make decisions regardless of anybody else's opinions, whether it's relatives, coworkers, friends, your significant other. You have to do, at the end of the day, you have to live your life. You have to walk in your purpose every day. So I think it's so important for you to really like focus and zone in on you and what's gonna make you happy, regardless of what other people's opinions are. You can hear them, you can, you know, I'll listen to your opinion, but at the end of the day, you have to live for yourself, because when you're 50, 60, 70, 80, you have to be the one to look back on your life and say, yeah, wow, I had this dream and I went for it. Or you're gonna be that person 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. You know, I never really did what I wanted to do with my life. I lived my life for other people. So it's so important to think about that. Really think about it. All right, guys, so that is the end of this video. I certainly hope that you guys enjoyed every second of this video because I enjoy talking about it. I enjoy trying to give you guys some tips so you can win this battle and you can overcome your anxiety and depression. And please always remember that your mental health, it does not define you. You are an individual, you have goals, you have dreams, and you can do this. Like, we are in this together. Let's do this together, guys. Leave comments down below. Leave any other things that you guys have learned along your therapy process from a podcast. Any like gems that you guys have learned, drop them down in the comments below so we can share this. We can share all of our tips and tricks with each other so that way we can all win. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like and share this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel because I will definitely be uploading more videos like this. and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.